Hey guys, we're back with the last lesson for the week. We're going to be doing problems 1 through 3 here, just talking about these double angle identities. Yesterday we talked about what you can do to find the sum of two angles, the sine of the sum of two angles, or the difference of two angles. Today we're going to talk about how do you find the sine of an angle that's multiplied by 2 or doubled. So, for example, the first one here says to find sine of 2 theta. Now, the formula is up here for it. The sine of 2 theta is 2 sine theta times cos theta. So let's look at what we have here. So we have sine 2 theta equals 2 sine theta cos theta. Well, I have cos theta right here. It's 8 over 17. What I don't have is sine theta, and that's where this comes in. Okay, that's telling us that the angle is between 270 and 360, meaning we have an angle in the fourth quadrant. And if the cos is 8 over 17, we can find the sine by using Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to do that really fast right here. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared is 8 squared plus b squared equals 17 squared, which is 64 plus b squared equals 289, b squared equals 225, b equals 15. We need to take the square root of that. So 15 goes there. So now we know what sine theta is. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, but you also have to take into account what quadrant you're in. Cosine is positive here. Remember ASTC. But sine is negative, so it's negative 15 over 17. The last step is just plug that in your calculator and you will get this big nasty fraction, negative 240 over 289, and that is the answer. All right, so in this part, all we did was just type this literally exactly how it is in the calculator. The next one's going to have a little bit of extra work at the end, but this one, just type it in. There's no square roots, so we're good. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one says we're trying to find tangent of 2 theta. So we only have one formula for that. That's over here. Oops, that is not the highlighter. That is right here. So tangent of 2 theta, I'm going to write that over here. Tangent 2 theta equals 2 tangent theta over 1 minus tangent squared theta. All right? And in this case, so all we need is tangent to find this. But we're given sine, and we're given the quadrant that it's in. It's between 180 and 270, which means it's in quadrant 3. So sine is 1 over 3. And remember, I don't have to write the negative. And the reason I don't have to write the negative there is because we know sine is negative in this quadrant, and we're just going to be using this to find the third side. If you want to, you can, but it'll become positive anyway. So let's find the third side of this. So 1 squared plus b squared equals 3 squared. 1 plus b squared equals 9. B squared equals 8. And remember, the square root of 8 can be simplified into 2 radical 2. All right, so again, the whole point of this is to try to find tangent of 2 theta. So tangent of 2 theta is 2 tan theta over 1 minus tan squared theta. So let's figure out what is tangent of theta. Well, it's O over A, which is 1 over 2 radical 2. And is that going to be positive or negative in the third quadrant? That's going to be positive in the third quadrant, so we don't have to make that negative. Rationalize this real quick. So tangent of theta is square root of 2 over 2 times that is 4. So now we can plug in to this formula to find what we need. So it's going to be 2 times square root of 2 over 4 over 1 minus square root of 2 over 4 squared. All right. 2 times square root of 2 over 4 is, these cancel, and you end up with square root of 2 over 2 on top. this is the toughest part. So if you get to this point, that's most of the credit. This reducing part is fairly difficult. This one you can just type in the calculator. 1 minus square root of 2 over 4 squared is actually just a number. That's just 8 over 7. Or that's just 7 over 8, I'm sorry. You could do the piece steps there as well. And then remember, to do a fraction over a fraction, you multiply by the flipped version. So we have 8 square root of 2 over 14, which reduces to 4 square root of 2 over 7. Now, like I said, I know that this last part is fairly complicated. I know that that's complicated. But just try your best to understand where the steps were and the algebra that we did there, okay? The last one is actually going to be using cos. Now what you'll notice is cos 2 theta actually has 3 different formulas. That's actually a good thing, because if we're given sine or we're just given cos, then we don't have to use the triangles, we can literally just plug in. So you have options here. So unfortunately, we're given tan, so we need to either find sine or cos. So let's go into that. So let's find the third side of this triangle. So it tells you it's between 90 and 180, which means that it's the second quadrant. And tangent is square root of 7 over 5. Okay, so setting up Pythagorean theorem, we have square root of 7 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. Square root of 7 squared plus 5 squared is 32, which the square root of 32 is, well, you can do 16 times 2 for 32, right? So it's going to be 4 radical 2 is this side. All right. Now, we have cosine of 2 theta. We can choose any one of these. So we can do cosine 2 theta equals cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. We could do 1 minus 2 sine squared theta or 2 cos squared theta minus 1. Any of those will give you the same answer in the end. But let's think about this. Sine is going to have a square root over a square root. That's going to complicate things. So why don't we use the one that just has cos? So we'll use 2 cos squared theta minus 1. So 2 times 4 radical 2 squared minus 1. Or not 4 radical 2, duh. Cosine is 5 over 4 radical 2, right? Cosine 5 over 4 radical 2. Now we could what's it called? We could rationalize this by multiplying top and bottom by square root of 2, but in this case, we don't really have to, because when we square this, the square root's going to go away. But there's one more thing that we forgot here, which is in this quadrant, only sine is positive, so that needs to be negative. All you got to do, type this whole thing right in your calculator. Since you're squaring the square root thing, it's actually just going to turn into a regular number here. So this just turns into 9 over 16. Okay, I hope you guys are all right with this. Try a couple of the homework problems. Use your notes as a guide to make sure you understand how to do this. And then tomorrow I am going to be posting a few problems that are going to be due Sunday night. So keep your eyes out for that. And reach out if you have any questions. Try the homework problems. If you get stuck, send me a message. Let me know, and so I can walk you through it. And if I walk you through it on Teams, then everyone can see my answer, maybe potentially help everyone in the class. So hope you're all doing well. Stay safe.